Hello, our most valued student. My name is Confident. Welcome to our revision session. And today I just want to focus on those who are doing their N1 and N2. And again, this is mathematics, of course. And we want to look at how you can approach the questions that usually ask you to find the LCM, which is the lowest common multiple, and the HCF, which is the highest common multiple. Most of the times this question usually carry good marks, and as you will see in this example that I brought, I think it's a paper that was taken in 2019 if I'm not mistaken. I don't know which trimester, but it is a 2019 question, and this is the question that I want to show you. And first of all, if you want to have an idea how important this section is, I want you to focus on the mark allocation of this question. Question 2.1, it says, given the following algebraic expressions, and they give you that. And then 2.1.1 says, factorize each expression completely. So which means you need to master the part on factorization, which we're going to do so. And look at the mark allocation, it's 7 marks. The 2.1.2 says, determine the HCF, which is your highest common factor. Of all the 3 expressions, you get a mark. And then the next question, 2.1.3 says, determine the LCM, which is your lowest common multiple of all the 3 expressions, is 3 marks. Now, if you look at the total mark allocation for question 2.1, you can see that this add up to, in this case, 11 marks. And you don't want in an exam to lose those 11 marks when you could have actually simple solved them. And one of the key concepts that you need to know in this particular section is how to factorize, which means if you are struggling with factorization already, you are going to have a problem with this section. Now, I will encourage you to go through my previous lessons whereby I teach you how to factorize using the product sum method or factorization by grouping. Also, if you want me to teach you one-on-one in a way on how to factorize, or if you want to purchase our videos, which have got a full curriculum, or it's a full kind of a section, or actually it's mathematics N1 in full. If you want to get hold of those videos, you can actually purchase them online. You can see our website at the end of this video, and you'll be able to get those resources. It will actually help you in a way that you will find this section the most simple section of all. And also, if you want to keep on receiving videos, and when we post them, you can also subscribe to our channel, our YouTube channel, and you can also turn on that notification bell so that every time we put some new videos, you are able to get them in real time. Now, I want then to focus on this question. As we say, the first one is to factorize, and I'm going to go through the process of 2 methods of Actually, I can see already there are 3 methods of factorization here. The first one is the difference of 2 squares. The second one is the product sum method. The third one, I think it will need the factorization by grouping. So now let us then see how do you go about that. Let me come up with a fresh page, and let's work from that page to say the first question is you're given 5a squared minus 5. So if I want to factorize that, which is 5a squared minus 5, and I want to factorize that, first things first, I identify that I have 5 there and I have 5 there. And second things, if you're given 2 items in an expression like this, chances are it will be a difference of 2 squares. Now, what is a difference of 2 squares? A difference of 2 squares, if I can just open a box here, a difference of 2 squares is the one which, when you're given x squared minus y squared is equal to, it's x minus y and x plus y. That is the difference of 2 squares that I'm talking about. So this question also utilizes the difference of 2 squares. So what you're given, take out 5, factorize by taking out 5 at first. Now 5 into 5a squared. So if you close that, you see that if you hide that 5a squared. If you hide it, you are left with a squared. So I've got a squared minus, now 5 into 5, that 5 into 5 there will give you a 1. So I'll get a 1 there. That's what I've done by taking out or factoring out 5. Now what I'm left with in the brackets, as I said, this is a difference of 2 squares. Why am I saying that? If you use a calculator and say 1 squared, you'll discover that it will give you 1. So 1 squared, remember, is equal to 1 times 1, which is equal to 1. So that is the good part whenever you are working with the number 1. So now I can actually come here and say this is same as 1 squared. Then I will have 5. Now this is a difference of 2 squares whereby you open 2 brackets and the first one is a minus 1. In essence, what you do is pretend in a way that you don't have that square and you don't have that square. So what you're saying is a minus 1. That's what you write in the first bracket, okay? Then in the second bracket, you're also writing a and 1, but now you put the opposite sign. In the first one is negative, in the second one is positive. That is the whole factorization that they needed there. So that's the first part of factorization. Now, as I said, this was the difference of 2 squares. Now we are going to factorize this second one, which is 20a squared minus 40a plus 20. So if I can write it as here, 20a squared minus 40a plus 20. Let me just check again. It's 20a squared minus 40a plus 20. Now I'm supposed to factorize this expression, but there is something that is common. If you can check again, we have got 20, we have 40, and we have 20. So you can see actually that in the numbers I can factor out 20 being the common factor there. So if I take out 20, it means I'm going to divide each and every item by 20. So 20 into 20a squared. So if I come here and close this part of 20, I'm left with a squared, as you can see. So I'm going to have here a squared minus, now it's 20 into 40a. So if you come and divide 20 into 40, you'll get a 2, but a will also remain. So you have 2a plus 20 into 20 will give you a 1. Remember, you can always test your answer by opening this bracket to say 20 times a squared is 20a squared. 20 times negative 2a is negative 40a. And 20 times 1 is 20. So this is the way you can actually check your answer like that. So now moving on, in this case, this is equal to 20. Now we are supposed to factorize this part which is inside the bracket. Now if I can do it with the different pen, now what I have is a squared minus 2a plus 1. As I said, this is where you now have to use the difference of not the difference of 2 squares actually, but the product sum method. And in the product sum method, you identify that there is a 1 there, which is 1a squared minus 2a plus 1. Then you take this part, the first one, and the sign as well of the last one. You take these two. What you're going to do, you're going to multiply them. They give you the product. So in this case, P is equal to, the product is equal to 1 times 1a squared, which is 1a squared. That's the product there. And in the center, if you can identify what you are left with in the center here is negative 2a. That negative 2a is called the sum. So S, which is for plus, is equal to minus 2a. Now we are going to then look for the factors of 1. In other ways, we are looking for a number that when you multiply, you get 1, and when you add it, you get minus 2. So those factors, we call them factors of 1, and the factors of 1 is 1 and 1. So 1 times 1 is the only way that can give me a 1. Now I need to add these two numbers to get negative 2. So it is negative 1, negative 1. So minus 1 is minus 2. You just put the a and you put the a there. So when I rewrite this side, I will have a squared. Where there was minus 2a, I will have minus 1a minus 1a. That represents minus 2a plus 1. Always maintain the bracket where the 20 is multiplying. So now you still have your 20. I will now open a bigger bracket because I need to factorize the grouping now. This is factorization by grouping. Take the first two and take the last two. What is common in the first two is my a. So a into a squared, it's a, minus a into 1a. In other words, it's a into a, which is a 1. Close that bracket. Now, the next one, I need to get a similar bracket. In this case, just take out a positive in terms of the sign. Ignore the signs for now. Now, 1a plus 1, you can see I can take out a 1 there. So 1 into minus 1a is minus, still the same, nothing changes, it's minus a. And then 1 into 1 is plus 1. But now, if you look carefully in the brackets, I'm interested in the brackets there, the one that is a minus 1 and minus a plus 1. Now you can see I can write this second bracket by taking out a negative and interchanging the signs, whereby I will have a minus 1 in this case. Now from positive, I'm going to make it now negative 1. When I do that, the bracket inside, I will also interchange the signs. So it was negative a, it will become positive a. It was positive a to become positive 1 to become negative 1. Now you can see that these two brackets now they are matching. So this is equal to 20. And then now it's the same bracket. I'll write it as a minus 1. Now outside the bracket, I've got that and that, which is also a minus 1. Now if I simplify this further, it's a minus 1, which is 20 a minus 1. Because there are two of them, it will become a minus 1 squared. So that is how I would have approached this part of factorization. Now let us look at the last one. I'm supposed to factorize 10a squared minus 10a minus 10ac plus 10c. Now let's factorize that, which is in this case 10a squared minus 10a, and then the other one is minus 10ac plus 10c. So it's minus 10ac plus 10c. So that's what I'm having. Again, when you see 4 items in an expression, chances are you're going to factorize by grouping. So I can choose to take the first two and the last two, and just to see what's common there. So in the first two, 10 and 10 are common. So I'm going to take out 10, as well as a squared and a, I'll take out a. So 10a squared, 10a into 10a squared, it's more like I'm dividing. 10, remember 10a squared is 10a times a over 10a. So that the 10 cancels, the a cancels, I'm left there with the a. So you can see that in the first one, I'll be left with a minus, now the other one is 10a over 10a. When you cancel 10a into 10a, 1, that into 10a, 1. So I'm getting a 1 here. Now, if I factorize properly, I must get a similar bracket in the next one. So it means I need to be very careful what I'm going to factor out. Now, when I'm factoring out, you can see also 10 is common. So I'm going to take the positive sign always in the beginning so that you avoid confusing yourself. So 10 is common and C is also common now. You see 10 AC and 10C. Now, when I'm dividing, as I said, minus 10 AC over 10C that I used, the C cancels, the 10 cancels, I'm left with negative A, as you can see that. So that's what I'm going to have here as minus A there. So it's minus A plus, now that 10c over 10c, when you cancel it, it gives you a 1. Now I'm going to have that as a 1 like that. Now if you look at the brackets again, inside the bracket I have a minus 1, but on the other side is minus a plus 1. You need to match these brackets, so I'll match the second one, take out the negative sign, so you will have 10a minus 1. Now instead of a positive 10c, I'm now going to change it into negative 10c. When you do that, whatever is inside the bracket, you also interchange the signs from negative a to positive a, from positive 1 to negative 1. Now if you see, the brackets are now the same, so what you need to do is to write this one bracket. There is a minus 1, and inside the bracket you can see now you have got 10a minus 10c. But now there is something interesting with this one, to see that it is not complete. You still have 10 and 10, so how do you take it out? You factorize it out like that, and then we've got a minus 1. Now 10a into 10a in the second one, 10 into 10a, you have got a, minus 10 into 10c, you have got a c. So I'm using this 10 and that 10 to take it out here. So I hope you're seeing that. So this is the fully factorized part. So the first question was asking us, says factorize here, factorize each expression completely, and they will give you 7 marks for that. So that is what you are supposed to be doing here to get your 7 marks. And you can see that they would have given you your marks there, your marks there, your marks there. And if you can look at it, this definitely is 2 marks, that definitely is 2 marks, and that definitely is 2 marks. Now from these, they can choose especially between the second to give it 3 marks, or the third one to give it 3 marks in a way. So that is how though you're going to get your 7 marks from that. Now the next question now says, determine the HCF of all the 3 expressions, and it's just a mark. Now how do you find the highest common factor? You cannot find the highest common factor if you are not able to factorize. So what you do, just to show you a little bit of information here, whenever you're dealing with the highest common factor, I'm going to write all of these together. It's 5a minus 1, a plus 1, and the other one was 20, a minus 1 squared, and the other one is 10, a minus 1, and a minus c. So whenever you are dealing, please pay attention, whenever you are dealing with the highest common factor, the factor that you're looking for is the one that is repeating in all the 3 expressions. So you can start with the numbers and ask yourself, what is the smallest number that can go into 5, 20, and 10? The smallest number that can go into 5, the smallest number that can go into 20, and the smallest number that can go into 10. So from here, you can see that 5 is the smallest number that can go into 5, into 20, and into 10. Then the next part of these brackets, you're going to identify the bracket that is repeating in all the 3 brackets. Now, if you look at what we're having, we have got a minus 1, a minus 1, and a minus 1. The rest are not repeating. That one is not repeating. This one is not repeating. So that is the only part that is repeating in that case. So now, because of that, what we're going to have is, we're going to have in that case the bracket a minus 1. But now you're going to ask me and say, how about this one is a minus 1, but this one is a minus 1 squared? You're going to take the smallest power. In this case, there is a 1 in that first one. So the one that is accurate, or that is correct, is the one with the smallest power, which is a minus 1, because it can go into a minus 1 squared. So in this case, if they ask about the highest common factor, this will be your HCF. So it's 5 into a minus 1. Having gotten that, let's go. That is 1 mark. Now the last question here, it says determine the LCM of all the 3 expressions. Now they want to give you 3 marks for that. Well, the concept is still the same in terms of, I don't know why they gave the first one 1 mark, but I feel like whatever information you're using for LCM and HCF, it must be worth the same marks. But anyway, let's look at the LCM. Now in the LCM, you are looking at the opposite of what we're doing. With the LCM, you start with the numbers. For example, you have got 5. I'm gonna use a quick. Let's start with the numbers. We have 5, we have 10, and we have 20. So with the LCM, we are looking at the lowest, it says the lowest common multiple. So here we're looking at the number in which all these 3 numbers can go into. So we're looking at that number which 5 will go into, 10 will go into, and 20 will go into. So let's start with 20 and ask ourselves, can 5 go into 20? Which is correct. Can 10 go into 20? It is correct. And can 20 go into 20? It is correct. But how do you usually find it? Now to get 5, it is 5 times 1. To get 10, it is 2 times 5. To get 20, it is 2 times 2 times 5. These are the prime factors of 20. So now with this, as I say, this is my 20, this is my 10, and this is my 5. Now you can always check my lessons where I look into that. Now in here, where it says 2 times 2 times 5, I can actually change it and say this is 2 squared. As you can see here, it is 2 squared because it's 2 times 2, 2 squared times 5. Now the LCM of this number, you start with the smallest number, it's 2, and the next one is 5. Now you select the highest power, which is 2 squared times 5, and 2 squared times 5 is simple 20. But you are able to locate it directly from those numbers. It was not a difficult one in this case. So in this case, 20 is the number in which all the 3 numbers can go into. Now when you start to look at the brackets, you are going to take each and every bracket that is represented. So you have got a minus 1, and you have got a plus 1, and we have got also, so we have got a minus 1, it is there, we've got a plus 1, it is there, a minus 1 is there, a minus 1 is there, and then we have got a minus c. Now go back again to your brackets and come and look at the a minus 1 and a minus 1. You will see that, remember, the one had a power 1 and this one is a power 2. Now in LCM, we take the highest powers, and in this case your power is 2 there. So this then becomes our LCM. So whenever they say find the LCM, it is 20, a minus 1 squared, a plus 1, and a minus c. So this is how you could have approached this particular question. It's 11 marks. And I think it was worth discussing it with you. I don't want you to lose marks on such sections, because this is where you capitalize on, because it is based mainly on factorization, and the other things of HCF and LCM is a matter of observing and writing. Observing and writing. I hope this was of benefit to you guys. Again, check us next time for other new videos. As I said, you need to subscribe to our channel if ever you want to be notified of new videos. If you want to purchase some of our online resources whereby you can have a full curriculum of mathematics N2, N1, N3, or whatever we have, you can check our website, which is www.24minutelesson.co.za. It is also shown at the end of this channel, and you'll be able to subscribe or join our online classes. And remember, with the online videos, you can watch them at any time without any disturbance, and you can actually revisit them more than once. This is a better advantage if ever it takes you time, or you're working, or your schedule doesn't allow you to actually attend real-time classes, and it's actually a great way for students who want to excel in their maths. We've come to the end of our lesson. Thank you.